Ashlee Young, and I serve as the Assistant Director of the William H. Thompson Scholars Learning Community here on campus, and I also serve as a First Generation Nebraska Coordinator. So I was asked to talk to you about forming your team or those people who stand behind you. And when you think about why that's important, I think that's something that I've reflected on a lot as a first generation college student myself. When I first came to college, I don't think I really realized how important it was to build a network for myself and to have people in my life that I could count on to help support and guide me as I worked my way through college and early into my career. I think that's something that, especially for those who are the first in our families to attend college and then to transition into a career, that having people who can support you and help point you in the right direction is really important. And cultivating those people in your life now is honestly not too early. Some of the mentors that I've had the longest really did start in college. So the looking at the folks that you are attempting to identify for your personal board of directors, it looks like, or you're designing your team. It looks like you have the connector, the dreamer, the mentor, the accountability master, and the shoulder to cry on. Now, I don't think it's necessarily beneficial for me to tell you who those people are in my life because they differ for everyone. So, what I'm going to tell you and give you some advice about is how do you actually cultivate those relationships? So, I get a lot of the time, my husband and other people in my life really tell me I'm very extroverted, and that's true. I am very extroverted. It's not something that really bothers me to approach a stranger or to say, hey, can cold calling people. And honestly, sometimes that's what you need to do. So when you think about, okay, who are people that you admire in the profession that you're wanting to go into? You may really not have any connections to them. Sometimes it's you having to put yourself out there in order to create those connections. Now, I know that can be really scary. But I will tell you that people like to be flattered. So the fact that you are seeing this person as an expert or as someone who you want to have on your team, that's really flattering. And it can often lead to you creating a mentorship relationship with someone because they view you as someone who's really coming to them for advice. And don't be scared to do that. So I would say, if you're looking for someone to fill your team that you don't know, or maybe you have a small connection to, sometimes even just sending an email or sending a message, asking if you could even just have a Zoom meeting with someone that you want to have an informational meeting. That can be, like I said, really flattering and can be a great way for you to get your foot in the door. As you look at some of these positions on your team, now you may have some of these people already in your life. And so my advice then is how do you maintain those relationships? So I think right now we're all in a really weird time of trying to maintain communication and trying to stay close to the people in our lives that we have those relationships with. And so what I encourage you to do is to reach out to those people in your life and just like I said, offer to have a virtual meeting. If they feel comfortable doing so, maybe you meet up for coffee at an outside coffee shop. It doesn't have to be huge overtures to maintain those relationships. And oftentimes, just having someone to talk to can be really helpful in pointing you in the right direction. So, as you think about some of these positions, like I said, really kind of look first at those in your life who you already maybe have a connection to, but then you may need to expand your reach. So some of the best ways to do that, like I said, are just looking at who do you know or who have you seen in a position that you think is someone that you really want to get to know a little bit more. And if that's the case, like I said, it may be that cold calling aspect of just introducing yourself. But if it's someone in your life, like a teacher that you've already had, or a faculty member, or a staff member, even just here at the university, sometimes that's just an easier door to open. And your trick then, like I said, is just maintaining those relationships. I think as a leader, it's important to have a team in your own development because they often see things that you don't. The dreamer for me, for example, is someone who really gasses me up in my own life and really encourages me to have more confidence in myself about things than maybe I didn't think was possible. So I am currently in a doctoral program. I'm working on finishing up my PhD, and I had a lot of fear about going into a doctoral program, even just as a first generation college student and kind of getting past my own imposter syndrome. And the person in my life who's the dreamer was the one who really just encouraged me to go for it and said, Ashlee, you're super smart. You have a lot to offer. people are going to want you in the doctoral program. And she was totally right. And without her, I wouldn't be where I am. And so you need those people who, like I said, see you maybe a little bit more accurately than you see yourself. So I really encourage you to think really hard about these people that you want to have on your team. Now, sometimes too, you may have some switch hitters. You might have a few people who could fill multiple roles on your team, or alternatively, you have people who get traded in and out, and that's okay too. Just because you're making your team today as a first year student doesn't mean that this is always going to be the team. But right now is a great place for right now, and at this moment is a really good place for you to start thinking about these things, because you are going to be cultivating relationships and networking for the rest of your life. So with that, good luck, emerging leaders, and I'm wishing you the absolute best. If you want to get in touch with me, if you think I can fill any of these roles for you, I'm happy to do so. You can reach me at ayoung8, AYOUNG8 at unl.edu. And I look forward to hearing from you.